So part 2 of the June 2014 Unit 2 paper, and we're covering section B. As it says here, you're advised to spend 45 minutes on this section. It is even more important that you spend 45 minutes on this section than it is in Unit 1, because there's only 6 multiple choice questions in Unit 2, so you're wasting loads and loads of potential marks if you spend too long on section A. So always leave yourself 45 minutes on section B here. Now this was all about Thornton's, a little bit of wordplay. Their dividend melts as their profits tumble by 92%. So not good for Thornton's, basically saying they're having a really bad time. But however, people are going to Hotel Chocolat instead, but that's more of a luxury one there. And then tells you a little bit about cocoa prices rising. So there's 2 different bits of evidence here. So let's get on with the questions. Explain one way in which the use of market research can help Thornton's reduce uncertainty. So the word is explain there. It's only 4 marks, so no need to evaluate. So explain the use of market research to reduce uncertainty. Right, start with market research. Market research can be either primary or secondary. Primary market research would involve Thornton's carrying out the research themselves. Why would that help to reduce uncertainty? Well, if Thornton's carry out market research, they can ask their customers what products they like and don't like. They can then change the products and services they are offering based on what the consumers want. That will then help to reduce uncertainty because it gives them a better idea of what their customers actually want, and will help them to plan for the future in terms of what they think their sales and profit and revenue is going to be. So pretty straightforward for that one. That's all you need to write. Moving on to question 8. Explain one possible benefit for chocolate retailer Hotel Chocolat of operating in a niche market. Just check the marks. No, that did not work. Just check the marks here. Again, it's probably going to be 4. Yep. So again, no need to evaluate. Why is it good to operate in a niche market? Well, we'll start by defining what a niche market is. A niche market is a small market within a larger overall market in which all the customers share similar characteristics and have similar wants and needs. So in this case, Hotel Chocolat sell luxury chocolate products. Why is this a good thing? Why do you want to be in a niche? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, you could say in a niche market there's less competition, so they're going to make more profit compared to Thornton's, who are more of a mass market chocolate based company. You could say because in a niche market there's not much competition, they can charge higher prices, so therefore make higher profits. That's another point. I would go with one of those 2, really. That's probably the best answers to give. So either of those is going to get you 4 marks. Question 9. Asking you to draw a graph. It says, using evidence B and a fully labeled supply and demand diagram, explain why the price of cocoa has increased. Right, if you jump back to evidence B, it tells me about cocoa. We're looking at why it has increased in price. It says it's gone up by 15%. Is due to growing demand for cocoa in China. Right. Pretty straightforward. Growing demand. So I'm going to draw a supply and demand diagram. I'm going to show demand going up, which causes the price to go up as well. I'm just going to show you what it says on the mark. This is the graph from the mark scheme. There you go. Demand's going up. That's it. You get 5 marks for that. So pretty straightforward. And the other 3 for explaining it. So 5 marks for the graph, 3 marks for saying that it's gone up because there's higher demand in China. Therefore, demand's pushed up, the price goes up, and that's your 8 marks. Question 10. Explain 2 factors other than the price that may affect the supply of chocolate. Right. So again, it's explain. No need to evaluate. So basically what it's saying is think of 2 factors that cause the price of anything to go up based on supply or go down. So basically what affects supply? So apart from the price, well, okay, you could say you could start with the cost of raw materials. Chocolate is made by cocoa. Because the raw material price has gone up, that means that the cost of producing the product has gone up in price, therefore supply will go down, because you should know that as the cost of producing something goes up, supply goes down. So that's your first point. You could say it's something to do with tax. There may be an increase in the tax that is put on chocolate products in the UK. That causes the price to rise again, the price of supplying the product, which means supply would go down because of that. Another thing that affects supply is the number of businesses within the market. If Thorntons have to shut a lot of stores, as it says in the case study, then there will be less supply because there are less places that are selling the chocolate-based products. Any of those three is fine. In fact, just to quickly look at the mark scheme again, there's a whole load, there's a big list of all the different ones that you could give. We've got the weather, so maybe the weather's affected the cocoa, that causes supply to go down. Cost of raw materials, availability of land and labour, maybe there's not a large area to grow all of these cocoa beans, so therefore there's not a lot of them. Firms leaving the market, taxes, technology. As technology gets better, they can produce more. Productivity, if the workers are not productive, then they won't produce as much. Price of other goods that they could produce instead. So a firm like Thorntons may switch from making chocolate and make something else that they can get more money off of. So any of those are points about supply. Assess the likely social cost of Thornton's decision to close 180 stores. So assess is definite use of evaluation. It's a 10 marker. So going to need a couple of points here, right? Social cost means the cost to society. So it's not about what is it going to do to Thornton's. It's not about what it's going to do to the government. What is it going to do to people, to society? Right, close lots of stores, that's going to mean a lot of unemployment. If there's a lot of unemployment, that's going to mean a lot of people out of work. Out of work can lead to a higher crime rate. People look to make money if they can't get a job. This is directly from the mark scheme, by the way. I'm not trying to be stereotypical. This is exactly what the mark scheme says. It can also lead to health issues as well. People can get depressed because if they're long-term unemployed. Also, Thorntons shutting down stores can lead to empty storefronts on high streets, and then closure and more empty storefronts means areas basically look worse. Again, crime goes up. So it's about the effect on society that it has, and it's the main thing is that unemployment will go up, and that can cause issues like crime, antisocial behavior, health-based issues. However, we do have to evaluate. So what could we say? Well, you could say that even though they're shutting 180 stores, maybe those people who are unemployed will only stay unemployed for a short amount of time. It's only if they're long-term unemployed that it will have a big cost to society there. So that's kind of your main evaluation point. And also you could say that even though Thornton shut down, maybe a new company will enter the market and take over all of their old stores anyway, and then offer jobs to all the people that lost them. Right, final question, very broad question. Evaluate 2 ways in which they might increase their market share. So how can a business increase its market share? Lots of different ways. Start with advertising. If Thorntons increase or change the way that they advertise their products, that can increase demand, which would lead to more sales. Another point that you could give, you could say they could change the production process to lower their costs. If their costs go down, if they sell chocolate at a cheaper price, that again may increase demand, which will then give them a greater market share. Another thing they could do, they could merge with their competitor to get a greater market share. The point is there are loads of different factors that you can give. What is going to become important here is the way that you evaluate it. So for example, we're saying yes, Thorntons should change their marketing. Change your marketing so you appeal to more people, so you can get more sales. The problem with that is that if they spend a lot of money on marketing, that has a massive opportunity cost. Marketing is not cheap. which means that the more money they spend on that, the less money they will have to produce their products, to pay their workers. It has a high opportunity cost. So that's an evaluation point. If you spoke about them merging, why don't Thorntons merge with Hotel Chocolat, for example, and then they can take over their stores? Problem is, evaluation point, they might not want to merge with each other. Or if they do merge with each other, it may cause more problems, because when two companies try to join together, if they have very different methods of managing staff, of running a business, it can actually cause problems within the business itself. So merging is not always a good thing. It doesn't always work out. That relationship doesn't always work out as it should do. Another one we said was you could lower their cost of production, therefore their product will be cheaper, and demand should go up, and they will have more market share, more sales, which leads to more market share. It's all about, remember, with market share, it's about how you're going to increase your sales, because the more sales you get, the more market share. So you lower your cost of production. Again, evaluation's quite easy there, because essentially that's easier said than done. Thorntons can't just randomly start making everything cheaper. We know that cocoa beans are going up in price, so they have to use cocoa beans to make chocolate. Therefore, it may not be as easy as it sounds for them to lower their prices, their costs of production. Maybe they could switch to some sort of cheaper cocoa beans or something. But again, evaluation point, if they're going to start using cheaper raw materials, maybe the quality of their products will go down. If the quality of their product goes down, that could cause demand to actually go down even more. Maybe people don't want to buy cheap chocolate, they want high quality chocolate. So whatever the points are that you give, you've got to make sure to leave time to evaluate, because out of this 7 mark for each point, 3-4 marks for each section comes from evaluation. So evaluation is key at this point. So you should finish this section with a couple of minutes left to give you time to read over the answer and to go back and finish off any of those multiple choice questions that you've left. Although having half an hour to do just 6 multiple choice questions, you should be able to finish everything off and have a couple of minutes to check over your spelling, everything else, and then the exam's done.